Crampton-Brophy Trial is finally underway. Nancy Crampton-Brophy is accused of killing her husband, Dan.
Dan was a beloved chef at the Oregon Culinary Institute. That institute is also where he was shot and killed in 2018. Katu's Genevieve Rayom is live inside the brand new courthouse downtown.
And Genevieve, a big development today. We found out we will hear from Nancy, right?
Yeah, Steve. Nancy Crampton-Brophy is expected to testify at some point during this trial. It'll give incredible insight into what happened on that early June morning. Nancy originally said, according to the state, that she was at home during the time of Dan's murder. But the state today presented several surveillance videos that showed Nancy's minivan driving around the area of the Oregon Culinary Institute around the time that Dan was murdered. After years of waiting and delays, Nancy Crampton-Brophy is finally on trial. She's accused of murdering her husband, Dan Brophy, in 2018 inside the Oregon Culinary Institute, where he was a beloved chef. The state says in 2016, the couple was in financial distress.
At one point, they even drained their only retirement account, a 401k.
Deputy District Attorney Shawn Oversheet says it was during their financial lows.
Nancy started researching and planning the murder of Dan Brophy.
Oversheet says despite financial hardships, Nancy paid big for life insurance. The state says Nancy made claims on 10 life insurance policies totaling more than $1.4 million.
It is true, Nancy Crampton-Brophy firmly believes in life insurance.
Defense attorney Lisa Maxfield says Nancy had been buying the couple life insurance since the late 90s, including an expensive policy when Dan was about to turn 60.
She paid those higher premiums because she was betting that Dan Brophy would reach the age of 78.
Dan was murdered at 63 years old. If he'd lived to be 78, Maxfield says Dan would have been paid $65,000 in cash. Dan Brophy was shot and killed in June of 2018. The state says Nancy bought guns and gun parts, including a ghost gun, online, but that right after the murder, she only told police about a gun purchased at an expo.
Nancy failed to mention that she had purchased a ghost gun build kit online. She also failed to mention that she purchased a slide and barrel from eBay.
The defense says Nancy bought the ghost gun and gun parts for research for a novel she was writing about a wife trying to get out of an abusive relationship.
Nancy Brophy talked to several of her writer friends about this story. She told some of them that she had bought a gun kit to build the gun from parts as she wrote the story.
The state says Dan knew about all these gun purchases.
Excuse me, I should clarify there that the defense says that Dan Brophy did know about all of those gun purchases. Now, another big development today, remember that essay that Nancy penned back in 2011 titled How to Murder Your Husband? That's partly the reason this case has gotten so much national attention. Well, the judge ruled today that that blog post cannot be used in this trial.
The romance novelist is accused of murdering her husband, a beloved chef from the Oregon Culinary Institute. Katu's Dan McCarthy is live near the courthouse this morning. Dan, we're going to hear opening statements in just a few hours.
Yeah, that's right, Angelica. And the trial itself is expected to last anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, meaning it could wrap up right around the 4-year anniversary of when Daniel Brophy was found dead at the Oregon Culinary Institute in June of 2018. As you mentioned, opening statement set to start at around 8:15 this morning, kicking off this trial. It's going to be at the Multnomah County Central Courthouse behind me here. Nancy Crampton-Brophy is accused of shooting and killing Daniel, a charge she has pleaded not guilty to. She was arrested roughly 3 months after his death. Investigators say prior to the murder, Nancy had bought a kit online from ghostguns.com as well as some other gun accessories. Investigators say those accessories match the bullets that killed Daniel. This is all information that's certainly going to play a large role in this trial once it kicks off in just a few hours, Angelica.
Dan, there was a lot of media attention surrounding this case leading up to Crampton-Brophy's arrest.
Exactly, and it really has to do with both of their positions, especially within the community. Daniel Brophy, a renowned chef, a teacher at the Oregon Culinary Institute. His wife, Nancy Crampton-Brophy, a novelist, and obviously that was the one thing that caught everyone's attention. It was an essay that she wrote in 2011 titled How to Murder Your Husband.
He was a person who did what he loved. He loved teaching.
Do you remember Nancy Brophy? This is her talking about her husband, Daniel, shortly after he was murdered in 2018. 3 months later, police named Nancy as the prime suspect. Finally, the case is going to trial. Katu's Genevieve Rayom is live for us in Southwest Portland, and jury selection is this week. Genevieve.
Yeah, Deb, the trial is set to start on April 4th. Daniel Brophy was a beloved chef at the Oregon Culinary Institute, and this case was bizarre from the very beginning. An early morning murder at a cooking school, but it would be the later developments that would attract national interest.
Yeah, it's just the life.
Daniel Brophy was an adored chef and teacher at the Oregon Culinary Institute. He was married to Nancy, a romance suspense novelist. On her website, she says she knew she wanted to marry Daniel when one night he prepped hors d'oeuvres before a bath. She added, quote, "Can you imagine spending the rest of your life without a man like that?"
I don't know how we're going to be able to replace him.
In June of 2018, police say Daniel was shot inside OCI. Nancy spoke at his vigil.
Dan was one of the few people I've ever known who did exactly what he wanted in life and loved doing it.
Just 3 months later. Yeah, Nancy Crampton-Brophy is now in jail and is expected in court later this afternoon. Police arrested Nancy, accusing her of killing Dan. We'd later learn of a 2011 essay Nancy penned titled How to Murder Your Husband and a suspicious gun purchase. Investigators say prior to the murder, Nancy bought a kit from ghostguns.com and other gun accessories online. Investigators say those accessories matched the bullets that killed Daniel. It's these developments that attracted a national audience. ABC, NBC, BuzzFeed, the headlines writing themselves. It even caught the eye of Jupiter Entertainment.
We have a pre-production process where we kind of scour the internet for cases all over the country.
The producers are now working on turning the Brophy story into an episode of Snapped.
It has everything that our show looks for.
The show on Oxygen highlights women accused of murder.